Bitter melon and diabetes. What the doctors are trying to keep secret from you. What does the science say about diabetes when it comes to bitter melon? There have been a lot of correlation studies about diabetes and bitter melon, but what you really need to know is whether it is or is not going to affect your glucose level. No matter who's trying to keep what from you, you need to know the truth. And that is why I look to the medical journal called PubMed. That is going to be our first leg of this journey. Okay, so here we are at the National Library of Medicine, PubMed, and I'll go ahead and have a link to that down in the description. As I may have mentioned before, here's the title of the article that I was reading: Hypoglycemic Efficacy and Safety of Mamortica Charentia Bitter Melon. Doesn't that sound like a Harry Potter spell? Mamortica Charentia. All right, so in patients with type 2 diabetes mellitus, that's just regular type 2 diabetes. They used to call it mellitus. Probably still do, I guess, in doctor circles, but not as much with people. Alrighty, so introduction, Mamortica, Charentia, widely used for glucose lowering effects. So that's the introduction. And the method is they did a random test where they did a placebo group and a regular group that was actually taking the bitter melon. The result, and here is good news, bad news. There was no difference between age, sex, or anything like that. No differences as far as it didn't matter about what you look like or what you act like or what your gender is or anything like that. So everybody was kind of getting the same results as far as that goes. And it said that the bad news part is the HbA1c, which is the exact same thing as the A1c. Both are the exact same thing. It wasn't affected by using bitter melon, but it was affecting the fasting glucose levels. So people were starting out in the beginning of the day with lower levels. I think that there's probably more research needed to be done on what they were doing during the day. But I guess they were looking at what bitter melon does just by itself. And what it does seem to do is lower the fasting glucose. That was the conclusion right here. That's the result. And then the conclusion was our data showed that bitter melon has effects of glucose lowering in patients with type 2 diabetes. That was their conclusion in this study. And that is what the whole point of this particular video was to show you that. And also, I wanted to let you know that sometimes it's more of a team effort than just one thing. So that is why I've got 15 different things working together that all have good results like this bitter melon, and they're all in my Gluco Ninja 7. That is a specialized formula that has 15 things that can all either lower your glucose or increase your insulin sensitivity and help with your tummy in case there's any side effects from any of those. So it's a perfect blend. It's what I take to keep my blood sugar in normal levels, and it may do the same thing for you. So that is why I wanted to point out this study to let you know that bitter melon does have good results. And I would say that bitter melon by itself doesn't have nearly as good results as when it has all those other team members. But how you take the bitter melon, whether you want to eat it or do it in a capsule, that is up to you. But I will tell you that I'm doing a taste test this afternoon, so you'll probably see a short video showing exactly how it does or doesn't taste good. Alrighty, here we are over at Google Docs. I want to share with you my notes. Alrighty, and so bitter melon, also known as bitter gourd, and of course that Mamortica charantia. It's been used in traditional medicine for centuries, particularly for diabetes. Modern research suggests that it may have some blood sugaring lowering effects, but it's not a replacement for prescribed diabetes medication. So I am not a doctor, and I am not pretending to be one, and I'm not giving you medical advice. What I am telling you is what other people have said, what doctors have said, and what the journals for like PubMed have said about bitter melon and its ability to help with diabetes. So let's go ahead and look. I wanted to show you a little bit about, see what this thing looks like. Isn't that pretty cool? I don't know if you can see it 100% because I think I might be in the way, but hopefully you can kind of get the idea. That's what it looks like cut up. Again, look for a short video with me tasting it. Okay, so these are some of the pictures I got for you. You take it with tea or other traditional. Here is a really good close-up on it. right here. You can see the white and the outer and the seeds. From what I understand, you don't want to eat the seeds. I'm not planning to because I believe it is toxic. That is what I was reading in Google earlier. So I'm gonna double check. But if it is toxic, I won't be eating it. So some things that potential benefits for people with diabetes. Let's see here. So it contains after glucose metabolism. Bitter melon contains several compounds that appear to affect glucose metabolism, including charantin, which will help with lowering blood sugar, polypeptides, various compounds. Cells use glucose. They help the cells use glucose. That is important. And may improve insulin sensitivity, may reduce glucose production by the liver, rich in nutrients. So it has C, A, folate, potassium, fiber, and antioxidants. Those are all going to be really, really helpful unless you have a particular allergy or some reason why you can't take any of those particular vitamins. I know I have a friend with kidney disease and she does not use potassium in large quantities. So you want to look out for any medical condition you might have personally and see if it will or will not be affected by this. So if you're going to take bitter melon, and again, that's true whether you're taking it by food or by capsule or anything like that. So, other things that it can help with weight management because it's low in calories and high in fiber. It can help with cholesterol and triglyceride levels. So, if you've got cholesterol issues, then this may be something you want to add to your diet. Um, anti Antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties, both of those are really good. So, some of the things that cause aging and cause breakdown of cells is oxidants in the cells. So antioxidants obviously undo those things, so they help with a better aging, so that you age what looks like slower, and that your cells stay healthier for longer. And then anti-inflammatory is really important because inflammation is what causes a lot of disease in the body, including diabetes, if that is something you happen to be struggling with. So if it has anti-inflammatory properties, it's taking care of that issue as well. So I like things that have both antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties. Those are my favorite things to add to my diet because I know those are helping me in two different ways, in very powerful ways. So it also supports digestive health. That is important because some of the things that you can take for blood related problems like diabetes can cause tummy troubles. So the, that is why, again, I have a set of 15 things, including bitter melon, that all together work together and they help with the insulin problems, with the usage of the glucose, breakdown of glucose, all that, and they help with tummy digestive problems as well. So you could get low blood sugar if you're taking this with diabetes medicines. So you want to watch out for that. And you may experience stomach pain, diarrhea, or nausea. If you experience those, then you want to not do it by eating and probably go to the capsules. I'm not saying that you have to get the capsules with me. I'm saying just wherever so that you can get this in and help yourself. Okay. And don't use it if you are a pregnant woman. That's what it's saying here. And glucose. G6PD deficiency. If you've got that, that could be a problem. Anyone taking diabetes medicines want to talk with your doctor, and I suggest this as well. This is in my notes here that I want you to talk with a doctor if you're about to add something or take something away from your diet or your medicines or your exercise. All those things that affect your health, you should probably talk to a professional about instead of just a guy that you found on YouTube that happens to know quite a bit. So let's go ahead and make sure that we do that. So how do you eat it? This is how I'm going to do it later. Stir fried with onions, garlic, eggs, and lean meat. I don't know if I'm going to do eggs and lean meat, but definitely my son is going to be doing a stir fry, and hopefully there'll be some shots of that on the video as well. When I do this, you can do it in soups and curries, stuffed and baked, or fresh juice. You can do I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys a juice recipe video this week as well, so you'll see that you can make a tea made from the dried slices. So there's a bunch of that. What does the research say? This is what my notes have. Bitter melon may modestly improve blood sugar control in type 2 diabetes, smaller and less consent. Basically, it's one of those things that it by itself isn't going to bring you down from like the 400s to the 100s, uh, like it the Gluco Ninja 7 did for me. So you're going to want to do something more than just bitter melon. But even if you add just a little bit, that will help you in general. And again, that's whether you eat it or capsulize it. Also, it's kind of a little hard to find. I only found it at H Mart, which is an Asian, and I don't know if that's appropriate to say or not, but it's an Asian store. But that's literally how it's listed. So when I went to Google it, that's what it said, kind of thing. I'm not trying to be adverse to anybody's culture. Uh, the only thing I did find was there were a lot of really polite people in there. That was so nice. It was so nice. But all that being said, H Mart was where I found it, and you'd have to Google where you could find this in your place because it's not going to be at your local King Supers or Walmart or Safeway or like whatever you have in your area. It's not going to be in your regular grocery store. So you're going to have to go somewhere a little special, and you'll have to look for that. So the bottom line, if you have diabetes, bitter melon can be a healthy vegetable to include in your diet. It may provide a modest benefit to your blood sugar. So again, I'm not saying that it's going to lower you. Uh, Even if you take the all 15 together, it may or may not lower yours quite the same way it did for me. Results may vary and all that kind of thing. But what I'm really hoping for is that you'll see the value of bitter melon because it is a tremendously valuable tool in your bucket to try to lower your blood sugar for your fasting blood sugar. That's what it said in that PubMed article. So that is everything you need to know, as far as I can tell, about diabetes as it relates to bitter melon. So, bitter melon and diabetes conclusion is that you should add this to your diet one way or another. And I'll see you guys in another video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I know everybody asks for that sort of thing, and it's probably really annoying. I apologize for that part, but it does help the channel. So I am a newer channel, and I'm really trying to get to reach as many people as possible, to help as many people as possible. And I'm a certified nutritionist, so that is one of the ways that I can help you is with nutrition goals. And I believe that even though I do run a supplement shop, I believe that the best way you can do these things is to eat the right foods. So for now, I'll tell you what I always say. Use this stuff to add years to your life so you can add life to your years.